to Death and Aliens, an in-depth look at horror and sci-fi TV from two friends who vaguely know what they're doing. I'm Courtney.
And I'm MK.
And how are you?
I'm pretty good. Yesterday was like such a nice day. Uh, okay, I gotta rewind all the way to the backstory. I am at I'm at work on Friday, and I get a text from my dad that just says, "Can you call me?" And I don't know how many of you have parents that are not good communicators in the sense that like Dan texts his family probably every day. And like sometimes if he doesn't, his mom will just be like, "Hope you're having a good day," because she hasn't heard from him in 24 hours.
Sure, sure.
I probably talk to my parents once a month unless something's going on. Like we just there's nothing wrong. Like we don't hate each other, we don't have an estranged relationship. We're just all very
Yeah,
independent people. We don't talk that much. Like we have a group chat where we like share pictures of the babies or like tell funny jokes, but we don't like talk.
right.
And I was at my parents all day on Thursday. So, like, for my dad to text me on Friday was weird. But also, my grandma's been sick. So, my
Mm,
immediate gut reaction was that something horrible happened.
yes,
So, I call him immediately.
immediately. Yeah.
However, I really should have waited till I got back upstairs because I was in the basement of the theater. So, my reception was shit. So, I couldn't hear him. But so I'm like, my immediate thought is something's wrong with grandma. Something happened like
Mhm.
with like my sister is in like Texas, and it started flooding there again this week, and so like
Oh yeah.
so I'm just like, okay, so I'm like, who is dying, what's happening,
Right.
like. And he goes, so I was just like on Facebook, and I saw this video from Step Out Buffalo, which is like a blog that like highlights things in Buffalo. And he's like, of like this restaurant that has like a really cool looking brunch menu, and it's like right down the street from you. Have you heard of it? And he tells me the name of the restaurant. It's my favorite brunch place. And I was like, yes, I have. I've been there a few times. And he goes, oh, okay. Do you want to go on Sunday? I was like, sure.
Couldn't have said that in a text.
And he's like, oh, okay, like would you and Dan be able to do? He's like, I told you to call me because I didn't know if you were at work or which job you were at or if you'd be able to talk, and I just figured if you could call me, it meant you had enough time to have a conversation. And
Incorrect.
I was like, okay.
Incorrect.
Well, no, but to be fair, if I was at work at like school and I got his text,
Mhm.
I wouldn't be able to call him unless I could actually talk.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. I was like, sure. I was like, Dan and I don't have any plans Sunday. We can do brunch. It's fine. So he makes the reservation. Well, he tries to make the reservation, then he can't because the online thing wasn't working. And then he tried to call, but in the winter they're open all day on Fridays, but in the summer they close at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so weird to me that usually it's the other way around.
Yeah, it is.
But apparently this is like the only place in the world that has shorter summer hours than winter hours. Whatever. Which is probably like the owner doesn't want to hang out at the restaurant on Friday nights in the summer because he
But
probably.
also, he's probably like everyone else is closed in the winter, so if I'm open,
Right. And like he's like an older man. He's probably just like, I'm gonna hang out with my grandkids on Friday nights. Fuck you. Like, you know what I
right?
mean?
Yeah.
So, but so he tries to call, he can't get through. He calls me on Saturday and asks me if I can call and make the reservation. So I'm like, so I do. We go to brunch on Sunday. But so the whole thing just like it was so weird because he just was like, I'm gonna give you a panic attack, just ask you if you want to get brunch. Like I have ever said no to brunch.
Right. Like,
Um,
as long as I don't have plans, that's not a question.
correct. So we went to brunch yesterday, and my dad really wanted to go because he wanted to do an eggs Benedict flight. They have flights of eggs Benedict.
Uh,
Um,
so,
I felt so bad. So our waiter, it was his first day ever being a server. He was like a busboy, and then yesterday was his first day being a server, and it was a Sunday, and so it ended up being a lot busier than they thought it was going to be, and the service was not ideal. But like I said,
sure.
and like my dad wasn't super happy, but it was his first time being there. I've been there before. I know that that's not, well, also no, sometimes that is the normal because it's not every server wants to be a server. Right.
Yeah, correct.
Um, but so my dad had his eggs Benedict flight and a Bloody Mary. My dad only drinks non-alcoholic Bloody Marys. Um,
I did know that about your dad, and I just find that very strange.
it's
Like,
so
I
weird.
understand not drinking alcohol, fine, but that is not the situation.
No, no, no. Yeah, like because he ordered a mimosa
Right.
and a non-alcoholic Bloody
I think
Mary.
that's what he ordered when we had brunch in Brooklyn. Like, it just doesn't, it
It's
doesn't
my
track for
favorite.
me.
It's because he likes tomato juice, but he also likes the hardiness of the Bloody Mary, like the flavors that
Um,
they put into it. Whatever. You
God,
do you. So he had
right.
his weird brunch order and his eggs Benedict, and Dan got something that was like some kind of like it was called ranchero something. It was like salsa and avocado and eggs and whatever. It looked good. I can't eat it, so I don't
It's
really
not a
know.
drink. I
Oh God, no, no, no. For his food.
You
No.
started it, and I was like I was thinking you were gonna go like branch water route when you started branch hair. I was like, okay, branch water. Like I don't love it, but it's a drink.
No, 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 no,
And then you
no.
started saying like avocado. I was like, something's amiss here.
No, he just had coffee. Um, I looked like a crazy person because I had three drinks.
Sure,
But it's
same.
because I had a
Every
co I
coffee,
think
cocktail, and water.
yeah, coffee, mimosa,
Yeah,
water, done.
exactly. That is brunch. That
Yeah,
is how you do brunch.
I had a Loganberry mimosa. I know you don't like Loganberry.
It is so bad.
It's so good.
It's not a berry. It's
It is a
just.
berry. A Loganberry is a real berry.
I thought you told me it wasn't. I thought you told me it was just a drink.
No. The drink doesn't exist anywhere else. I don't, but the berry itself is a real berry.
Someone told me it wasn't because I said I never want to taste a Loganberry after trying this drink, and someone said it's
No,
not a real
it's a
berry. It's
type.
just a drink.
No, it's a
Why
type
is
of
everybody lying to
I
me?
don't know, it's a type of
I
it's
can't.
a type of berry that is a hybrid between a North American blackberry and a European raspberry.
But that's what I had at your house, right? That's the drink that I
Drink.
had
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
bad. Okay, I
It's
said
not
out loud, it's a terrible berry, and everyone was like, haha, it's not a berry, it's a
well,
drink.
that's because the berry doesn't taste like that. The drink is so much sweeter than the berry could ever be.
God, I can't with you people. You Buffalo
Um,
people. You're too much for me.
so I had my Loganberry mimosa, and I had this place. I get the same thing every time I go. But it's my favorite. But okay, I got plain Greek yogurt with honey, which is my new favorite thing. I started eating that in Europe, and I decided it's my new favorite thing. But they already put the honey on it instead of giving me a little jar of honey,
Mm,
so I didn't. My honey to yogurt ratio wasn't my favorite.
quite right.
But then I had caramel apple crepes.
Oh, stop.
And they
Oh,
do like
so
the cooked
jealous.
apples in the middle with a custard, but their custard is made with Greek yogurt, so it's not super overpoweringly sweet. It's like a nice tart custard. And so then the only sweetness comes from like the natural sweetness of the apples and then the caramel that's sprinkled on top.
I
Chef's
love that.
kiss. It's my favorite. I get it every time. And then my mom just had regular crepes. Or just
Well, I haven't
custard.
had a crepe in so long. I just realized as you're talking about it, like I don't know the last time I had a crepe.
The last time I had a crepe before yesterday was in France. So, mm,
Just, I can't.
did I? Was France last time? Yeah. No, maybe I had. No, I did. I had crepe. Well, I had crepes in Paris, obviously, but then I was trying to remember if I had crepes
Sure.
in
Since
England,
then.
like when I was at the other breakfasts that I went to. But I
Oh
don't
yeah.
think I did. I think it was just France. Um, but yeah, but it was delicious, and I wish that I could go to brunch every week and have a social life. But also I went to bed at 9:30 last night because going to brunch was exhausting.
I mean, that's what Sunday Funday is about. You go to brunch and then you don't. That's it. You don't do anything.
I know, but I work every Sunday this month, which means
I
I,
work every day of my life. I get it. I get it.
but
I'm
I
so
can't watch
bad.
any Bills games because I work every Sunday.
Well, that's better for you though, right? Aren't you like, don't they win when you don't watch them?
I don't know, but Dan gets anxious when he watches them without me because he doesn't have
Mm,
anybody to deal with his anxiety.
mm, that's
So
fair. Well, I sent you a thing on your text message that I thought I
yeah,
sent a week ago.
yeah.
And it didn't send. I signed up for a giveaway of the like I got an email from the Saints and they're like, sign up for this giveaway. And it just happened to be the Bills Saints game in Buffalo. And I was like, yeah, that's the one I want. Of all of the season, that's the one I would like to win a ticket to.
Yeah.
Because then I don't, I mean, I'm sure they like do accommodations and stuff too, but like, I
No,
was just like, then
it
I
says right on there.
also,
2 tickets to the game, round trip commercial
yeah,
flight for two, hotel accommodations for one night for two
yeah.
people.
But I'm like, I'm not just going on a whim. Like, I would then have people there and like,
Yeah.
it would be fun. So I signed up. I'll let you know if I win, but not a, not super, I don't win those things, but I hope I do because that'd be really cool and really
Same.
fun. Um,
I'll have to get off work that day then.
for sure, for sure. But yeah, I can tell you a couple things about food. In true
Actually, no,
ADHD
that's
fashion,
the one Sunday I don't work.
it's meant to be.
It is meant
It's
to
meant to
be.
be. I would still take you away from Dan, so he would still not be pleased about that. But it doesn't help Dan any. But um, yeah, I just speaking of Greek yogurt, I need to buy some honey because I just bought Greek yogurt. I went to Trader Joe's after my ethics exam for comfort. It was not comforting. Everyone was there on Wednesday at 1. That's not
Ew.
when you go to Trader
That's not when
Joe's,
you go to Trader Joe's.
right? That's when I go to Trader Joe's because you don't go there.
Ew.
And it was, I thought I was gonna
That's why
kill people.
people think it's crazy that Dan does grocery shopping after rehearsal on Monday nights.
I mean,
You
I
know,
think that is, but you guys don't have a weekday, so
but we don't have a weekday, but like, but
yeah.
also, so that means he goes to the grocery store at 10 o'clock on a Monday night. Do you know how much easier it is to go to a grocery store at 10 o'clock on a Monday night than it
Yeah,
would be
for
at
sure.
4 o'clock on a Friday?
Yeah, like I'm also not going at 4 o'clock on a Friday, but I also do have daytime that I can
Yeah,
pop around by. And now we have an Aldi down the road, and it's not like a pop-in
yeah.
store, so I could go whenever. Um, but so I got Greek yogurt, and I got this chocolate coffee granola.
Okay.
Um, and I really need to get like some honey or something. I did. What did I put in it? God, I don't even know what I put in there. I put the Greek yogurt. I did the granola. Oh, I have this other thing I bought from Trader Joe's. It's like a weird, like a tahine chocolate sauce of sorts.
Mm,
And I put it, and it was not bad. I want to make it into a smoothie though, and give that a go. So I'm also on the Greek yogurt train. I've had like tummy trouble. I've had tummy
yeah.
trouble. I'm sure it's from the stress, but so I'm
Well,
hoping the Greek yogurt
yeah,
will
that's the thing.
straighten
I've
that
been
out.
so sick for the last like 2 weeks, and I am 99% convinced that it is just that my body is like, I can't fucking deal with you anymore.
Yeah, I think my body, like, I know this is how my body acts, 'cause my doctor told me in New York. But like when I get high stress, like I keep going, I keep going, I keep going. When it's done, my body panics. And so like I start getting like muscle spasms and I start getting like tummy aches, like all of these things where it's like
Yeah.
today I'm fine, but I feel like I'm so sick from stress, even though I'm not like high stress right now.
Yeah.
Um, and so I'm sure that's the aftermath I'm dealing with from the bar and whatnot. Um, but yeah, so I also did that, and then I made salmon the other day with this really good like mustard sauce, and it was like mustard for sure.
Mhm.
Um, oh, what else was in it? Soy sauce. It was a little more Asian than I anticipated because that's like not usually Rachel's favorite, so I wasn't gonna make
Right.
that, and then that's what I made. But it was really good, so I just finished that off today. Um, but also I'm interested in a craft in general, a craft. My one of my book challenges is to do a craft during the fall season.
That reminded me that I bought one of those little bookshelf book nooks that looks like a bookstore that you put together and for my
Yes.
classroom, and I haven't put it together yet.
Oh,
So the story behind
do
that
a
is,
craft.
do you know I told you I got that little magic shop that one of the guys on the Hamilton tour made me? It was like
I
a look.
no, I don't
It,
think you've told me
oh my
this.
gosh, no, it was this little like diorama thing, but it was cute and tiny. It was
Hmm.
like the little book nooks that they have, but
Yeah.
it was like a magic shop. And one of the guys on the Hamilton tour, he's a swing, so he's not in the shows so like all the time. So when he's at every theater he goes to, he makes one of those little houses and he gives them to somebody. So he gave me this to me last year.
So
One
cute.
of my girls at school is obsessed with it. And every single day for the last week of school, she's like, "Can I have it?" And I was like, "No, you can't have it." It's so I bought myself a new one so that I can give her the magic shop.
Aw, that's so cute.
But then I forgot to put the new one together.
Can you send me a link of this idea you're speaking of?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think I'd like it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I this is again true fashion. I don't know what to do with myself, and she was like one of our tasks is do a craft, whatever you want it to be. You can draw
Yeah.
something, you can make something, and like in my heart, I want to cross stitch, but I did
Mm,
that once, and I need someone to like hold my hand while I do it because I did one and it was fine, and then I did another and couldn't even figure out how it worked. Like it's I don't know. I'm not a needle and thread girly, but I want to be. And
I,
so
I just
I
I just texted you the
amazing.
link.
Amazing. So I want to be a crafty girly, but I don't like a lot of crafty things. So that
Yeah.
makes it difficult.
Dan and I love
So
building Legos, and this is like cute,
mhm.
crafty
See,
Lego.
I like that, but Legos are wild right now. So like
Yeah.
this is really cute. See, I would make this. I would like this. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna save that. Um, but I one of the girls in our group did one of those diamond puzzles. And I've never done one, but I think I could do that because it's basically color
Yeah.
by number, but you just poke it instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's like sticky diamonds. So I ordered this really cute like orange and white vibe, like wine and cheese one that seems pretty simple
Okay.
um to start. So I just felt like a cheaper one because I don't really know. But I saved a couple that like are Jack and Sally because I love Jack and Sally.
Yeah.
And so if I decide I like this, I do have two more that I can buy to try. So I think that's going to be my next craft adventure. It should be arriving tomorrow. I bought it today.
Nice.
Um, but I'm very excited. So I bought that with my I found a 25 book a 25 challenge book. And
Nice.
so I've ordered both of those today. But I'm really excited. I want to be I want more relaxing crafts, and I'm just not good with the needle. Like I said, I tried to like when Caitlin had Thomas, I tried to learn how to knit. I wanted to knit him. Like I knit my mom's scarf in like college or high school or something, and so I was like, that's fine. But I wanted to knit like baby booties or like a little hat or something, and
Yeah.
I bought so much yarn and so much like knitting materials, and I almost threw it out my window because I wanted to die. Like it
I
wasn't for me.
I am so jealous of people who can like knit or crochet and let's just like find that to be peaceful and relaxing
Mhm.
because it doesn't. It stresses me out. I'm not
Yeah,
good at it.
same.
But then also, I see things online that make me think I'm so glad I am not a person who enjoys fabric crafts because I watched a video of a girl who shaved her head and spun her own yarn with her hair and
Oh my
then
gosh.
knitted a hat out of it. And I am so glad I have never knitted anything in my life because I don't want to be associated with that.
No, I'm glad that that's not me also. Um, yeah, but I do want to find a relaxing craft, but it's not in any way relaxing for me either. So I get
No,
it.
I just
And I'm not
color.
a draw. I like coloring, but I feel like I want something a little more crafty. Like
Yeah.
I color and I have
This
color
is
books.
this is my Akatar coloring book.
I love it. I love it. So we have like, and we have two separate props. One's art, one's craft. And so the art
Yeah,
is like we do like a color page every month in this book group. And so like I
nice.
did that, but like I like got a new one started today, obviously 'cause it's a new month. But so like I do color and I do like to color, but I don't feel like it's the same.
It's not.
And so I want like an actual crafting activity. So I'm gonna try this diamond puzzle print art
All
thing
right. I like it.
and see if I like it. Um, so while we're in these high spirits, do you want to give us a little something something?
I sure do. I already have it up. I just put my link up.
Amazing.
All right. Maybe I already have it up. Oh yeah, I do. Apparently, since the last time I opened this tab, I've opened 87 other apps on my phone. We all go through life like bulls in a china shop. A chip here, a crack there, doing damage to ourselves, to other people. The problem is trying to figure out how to control the damage we have done, or that's been done to us. Sometimes the damage catches us by surprise. Sometimes we think we can fix the damage, and sometimes the damage is something we can't even see.
Yeah, that tracks. That tracks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, to lift our spirits, we're talking about American Horror Story Coven, episode 4. Fearful Freaks Ensue. which is what a title.
What a
What a title.
title.
Um, it is a direct quote from the episode, but it is also just I found
Yeah,
the stuff. It aired October 30th, 2013, so this is our Halloween episode. Um,
which
it was
makes
rated
sense because Halloween was in the episode.
right, right. It was rated 8.2 out of 10. The number one song at the time is Royal still. The number one movie is Ender's Game, so do not fret, we've left Bad Grandpa. And our number one book is still the same. It's still Stormfront by I didn't write down his last name. Sanford, John Sanford. Um, Again, as
Okay.
I mentioned last week, not a lot of like thrilling news. There was a big bus fire that killed 44 people in India. That was likely a big deal at the time. Um, Dell went private, um, which for the first time, and the Red Sox beat the Cardinals in the World Series.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
say, my Facebook statuses from that day, one said, I care zero about baseball, which is not true. I don't know what I was talking about. I do like baseball. I think I just didn't care about that game. And then I said, but if someone could come massage me and watch Swan Princess and Dumbo, I'd be all about that.
what an invitation!
My other post from that day, which was clearly from that day, but early, crazy in the morning, early, like
Mm.
in the middle of the night, I said, can someone please explain to me what drugs I did to think watching Ravenswood at this hour would work out?
Which one is Ravenswood?
It's the Pretty Little Liars spinoff with
Okay, that's what
Caleb.
I
That's the
thought.
super horror one. Yeah.
I never watched it. Is it good?
It's way spookier than at Pretty Little Liars.
I did hear that it was spookier.
And I watched it at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning on a Wednesday or Tuesday night because, like I said, that semester I didn't have classes on Wednesdays, so I did crazy shit on Tuesday nights that no one could help me with because everyone else had classes on Wednesdays.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that tracks.
So yeah,
Um,
I wanted to watch Swan Princess and Dumbo probably because I watched terrifying shit the night before.
right. You were trying to recover from the previous day. Mhm. That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair. Um, yeah, I don't know what I did. I was probably at a Halloween event because it's still Halloween.
Yeah, but it was a Wednesday. Did you party on a Wednesday?
Why are you questioning my lifestyle, Mary Kate? I did a lot of things in my
Listen,
life.
theater kids, I gotta say, we when we went hard, but we really did save it for the weekends because we would have rehearsal so late into the night that we like
Mm.
couldn't have a party on a Wednesday because we had a 14-hour like tech day.
Yeah,
Which is probably why we all seemed like alcoholics because it's not like we drank every night. It's like Saturday came around and then we were drunk for 24 hours straight.
yeah, yeah. There were just always events. I were like going to events.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know that I was like out partying, but I was probably like doing a Halloween event.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sorry, I forgot that I put my cauliflower crisps in my pretzel crackers box, and
That would
I
be a
loved them
weird
so
thing.
much.
I mean, I love them too, but if I thought I was eating a pretzel and then it was cauliflower, I would be very confused.
Well, I realized it before because I had both bags in here, so the pretzels were still on the bottom. But once I realized there was a bag on top, I was like, "That's where my cauliflower crisps are," and I was just very pleased with that. I forgot where they were, so
Nice.
what a fun experience. Um, Anyways, our director is Michael Uppendahl. Returning writers Jennifer Salt and John J. Gray. Returning and editor Stuart Schill. Returning. Um, so our I meant to look up how to pronounce her name correctly because I may or may not do it right. But our star is Gabori Sidibe. Sidibe? It's Sidibe. Um,
Yeah, I don't
so
know.
it's either Sidibe or Sidiba or something. Um, Gabby, she goes by Gabby normally. Um, and she plays Queen. She is known for Precious, Tower Heist, Seven Psychopaths, and Antebellum. It has been a long time since I've seen Seven Psychopaths, so I don't remember her being in it.
Mm,
Um,
I've never seen it,
but
so
it was really good. I really liked it. But I mean, it's been a very long time since I watched it. Um, she's a huge NSYNC fan, so she's been to 23 NSYNC concerts.
I'm obsessed with that.
I know. That was my favorite fact I found. Um, she studied psychology at Mercy College in New York. And then her mom is Alice Toon Ridley, who didn't get like popular till later, but she was a paid singer at the Cotton Club in New York,
Okay.
which is a very historical music venue, especially for Black musicians, for those
Hmm.
of you who don't know. Um, and they've kind of remodeled it now. And one of the artists I work with had their release at the new location. It was very interesting and very fun to learn about. Get down, excuse me, get down, get down, thank you. Um, and she also, so she was pacing at the Cotton Club so a while back, but then she also was on America's Got Talent. And that's where
Okay.
she kind of got recognized, and she released her first album at like 63 or something. Um,
That's great.
so that's her mom. Um, so we start this episode with a little black boy riding his bike through the town, and he is being followed by a car. And he realizes it, tries to get away, and goes down a dead end street. And he's caught by these men, by these white men.
I hated that so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
I,
This is so like this is such a good season, but such a rough season because it's
yeah.
like too much of it's real.
Hmm.
Like, and I know that's like one of the big things we have about like American Horror Story is supposed to be like true to life or whatever, but you have, I mean, we had Murder House, which was obviously, I mean, murder, but like ghosties and stuff, you're not as worried about stuff like that. And then you have like,
And but they did touch on some stuff. Like they touched on like the underground abortions and the
right,
like and stuff like that. So like it wasn't that it didn't touch on real life stuff. It didn't feel as real as this.
right. Well, that's what I'm saying is because there was so many other whimsical elements to it. You have
Yeah.
so many of these like haunting, like it was haunting
Yeah.
Hill House essentially, and then you have like, even though we know that the psych wards and like hospitals and stuff were bad places, and I'm sure there are still some that aren't great, but they were bad places back in the day, and so like that's what it was built on. But then you have aliens, you have all this other stuff to grip you
Right.
about it, so that like really takes away from like you don't feel like you're there. And here it's like the only whimsical elements are like New Orleans culture, and so it's like this is
Yeah.
still pretty
Well,
real, even if it's not
so I
necessarily
I
real.
also I the there is a very famous story in my area that I was always told as a little kid that I then, as I got older, found out like my uncle got married and I found out that it was my aunt's family. So the story that happened. But um so my uncle, my aunt's brother passed away in middle school because he was chased by bullies on his bike and got punched in the side of his head and died. So like
Jesus.
so like for me it's more and that is like awful and it did a lot for like the rules about bullying in the schools and everything. And like there's a tree planted for him at the high school, like from the year he should have graduated and whatever. But like, so for me, the idea of an innocent kid just getting chased on a bike, like, is like triggering.
Mm-hmm.
And
That makes
so,
sense.
but also like knowing how many kids in the South that probably happened to when integration started happening, like, it
Yeah.
is just really upsetting.
I mean, it happened to kids when I was in high school. Like
Right.
not in
Well,
my town, but
right.
in
Like I'm saying,
Louisiana.
so, yeah. I mean, like, I mean, and my uncle, it wasn't racially motivated. It was just
Yeah.
bullies. But still, like, my my aunt is not that much older than me, actually, because it's like my dad's stepbrother's wife, so
Mm-hmm.
she's younger. I want to say she's like maybe 10, and she's younger than him, so she's like maybe 15 years older than me, and it was her younger brother. So like I was in middle school, I think, when we planted the tree on what would have been his graduation year. So like it wasn't that far removed
Yeah.
from. So
It's just, yeah, it's crazy.
it's crazy. People suck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're in New Orleans, 1961. Obviously, as mentioned, this is the beginning of the integration, and in the South, it was not as easily accepted as in some other places, um, for lack of a better explanation. Um, and so one of the women is putting her son into one of the earliest schools. She's like, I really have hope. I really believe in the future. Like, we're gonna be okay. But it turns out that that ended up being her child, and he was attacked by these men and lynched and hung in a tree. And
Yeah.
she found him, and she obviously is like close with Marie Laveau, so Marie starts doing this ritual, and she's like gonna find these men and get them taken
Mm-hmm.
care of, and the ritual itself brings like essentially zombies back from the dead, and they go to kill these men who one of which is the sheriff, which again, not uncommon in these situations. Um,
I
because those
love
are people
it.
that can get away with it. Um, and but basically these zombies show up and tear them limb from limb, and we get the credits.
Yeah.
So strong start to this episode. Um, and then don't worry, when we come back, we start with Spalding and his dolls. So again, we are just
Yo, that shit
wild.
was wild. Like, obviously, I know the way American Horror Story works at this point. I know that they don't really have characters that are like completely like anytime there's a character who's there for more than an episode, something's going on with them. That's the
Right.
way that they write the show. Like they don't people don't just exist in these shows. There's always some
Mhm.
kind of backstory. Um, and obviously, we saw last week that Spalding has been in the house since Fiona was young and that there's some kind of connection there. But when I tell you, I was negative prepared for this to be how he spends his free time.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. God, I love Dennis O'Hare. He's always thrown a wrench in American Horror Story seasons.
That that was just
I
so.
think he's been in every season. I'm trying to remember. I think he's been in every season of the show, and
Okay.
he is just. I just love his character. I mean, even when I hate his characters, I didn't love Larry in Murder House. He was kind of creepy at the beginning, especially at the beginning. Um,
Yeah. What was his character last season?
I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure he was in it. Let's see. Dennis O'Hare, AHS Asylum. Um, let's see. Where are you? It's telling me 4 through 6. Yes, thank you. That is not helpful. Um, oh, he wasn't. He wasn't in that
Mhm.
season, and he's not in all of the seasons. I think it's because he's in the American Horror Stories too that I'm just like he's in everything.
Got it. So I was gonna
Um,
say I didn't remember him being in the last one.
and he's in, spoiler alert, the next three.
Mm.
And then the three most recent. Like, so I've just seen a lot of it lately in American
Got
Horror
it, got it, got
Story.
it.
Um, which I think we might be getting a new season relatively soon.
Okay. I mean, I'll
Let's
be
see.
excited for a new season just because then the Hulu logo picture will stop being Kim Kardashian as a spider.
I
Um,
know.
and I can look at something else.
There's no theme in full cast yet. It's in production, but there's no announcement yet. So
That's fine.
it started in 2025, was pre-production in June 2025. So
Okay. So,
we're in
but
the works.
we're in the
But they
works.
may, I mean, if they I'm surprised they haven't released a new horror stories.
Yeah.
Um, but I think the last one was pretty recent. Um, yeah, the last one was they did Halloween last year. So alas, you're stuck with Kim K for a minute. Um, so anyway, so we have Spalding and his dolls. We're in present day. And we follow him as he goes, like he hears the screaming, and we follow him as he goes to see Fiona and Maddie. And she's like after she kills Madison and tells her
Yeah.
she would make a terrible supreme, he fixes her a drink and then takes care of the body like it's nothing. So obviously this is not food,
Yeah.
which we already get.
Right.
Um, And Fiona is just a psychopath sometimes. Like, she's telling him, she's like, I've really enjoyed our talks through the years. Like, especially now that you don't have a tongue, because, like, you seem so much smarter. Like, Jesus Christ, you are so mean.
So
Um,
mean.
but like, I don't know. They have some kind of weird relationship that I guess works for both of them. So who
Right.
am I to say? Who am I to say? Um, and so then Fiona goes and finds Queenie's body, and all she says is he hurt her really bad, which is interesting because she can't be hurt. So,
Yeah, that was really confusing to me because I was like, but I also then I wondered because she's the human voodoo doll, is it only that she can't be hurt if she hurts herself? Like if somebody else stabs her, is it the same? Because like, well, because
I don't think so.
I don't, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, they haven't really made that clear because no one else has attempted to hurt her. But it's like, it's one thing because she has to be thinking about, like, if she just stabs her hand, it's not like every person around her's hand gets hurt.
Right.
She's thinking about who she's trying to inflict pain on. If somebody else
Yeah.
stabs her, there's nowhere for the energy to be directed. So, is it that she actually can't be hurt or that she can't hurt herself? That I don't fully know. So, I wasn't as worried about the idea that she couldn't be hurt. I was just
Mhm.
real concerned about how awful it must have been for whatever happened to have happened.
Yeah, because we don't know all of the specifics, but we know it wasn't good.
Yeah.
So
She's bleeding profusely from her gut, and so
yeah.
base
And we
base
saw where we left off. So
right.
not good stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so da, da, da. So they go to take her to Cordelia, who has all the salves and everything to like fix her. And they talk about this was all caused by provoking Marie Laveau. And Cordelia says how she went down there for fertility, and Fiona basically mocks her, and she's like, "You're
Yeah.
never gonna get this medicine from her. Like, we're sworn enemies." And she's like, "Well, it's because you ruined everything." And she's like, "No, I made us look stronger, and now you've made us look weak." And like,
Which I disagree with Fiona in the sense that Fiona's a bitch. But also
right,
when also the witches have kind of been falling out of grace per
mhm,
se, and the truce that was made by Annalie and Marie, it did kind of diminish the Salem witches, and
yeah,
so by Fiona saying, I know you're here, I know you're still you, I know you still haven't aged, and I know what you did. That is more of a power play. Whereas showing, having her very own daughter be like, I can't do this kind of magic on my own, I need your help. She's saying the witches aren't shit, you're the queen. And
right,
that takes away everything that Fiona just tried to do.
yeah. I definitely agree with her sentiment. I don't think she needed to provoke Marie Laveau.
Oh, no,
I
no,
think
no.
that that messed up their truce. Like, I think even though they looked weaker, the truce was still in place.
Yeah,
And so I think without a move on either side, they would have been fine. So I think Fiona needs to stay in her own lane, but I definitely don't disagree that like Cordelia also should have gone to her because it does
right.
make them look weak. And if they're already on like tenuous strengths, now you've given her another weakness to poke at. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a good move, Cordelia. Um, and I kind of across the board feel a lot of the same sentiments as Fiona, even though I don't agree with her handling of them, um,
Yeah.
or the moves she makes to progress them. But overall, I don't think she's necessarily wrong in a lot of her like ideology. It's more of her practice that I have a problem with.
Yeah. And I do think that Cordelia is I think that Cordelia has been perpetually afraid of her mother to the point where she doesn't have an identity anymore.
Oh yeah, I mean, she was
She
never going to be the next Supreme or
No,
anything.
no, no,
Like,
and it's not,
just
but beyond that, she's just so weak
yeah,
in a way that is something you feel bad for her about.
mhm,
Like the way she talks to her mom, the way she talks to the girls, the way she talks to her husband, the way she talks to the doctors, like she does not have a backbone. She
yeah,
does not have any confidence. She does not have any belief in herself. And it is so sad because if
Right.
she had even a leg to stand on, half the shit that happens wouldn't happen because the people would trust her and follow her instead of her mother.
Yeah. And I think it's all because of Fiona. Like, I'm sure
Yeah.
it's Fiona putting her down and running her. And like, I mean, she's the oldest of the group. And so Fiona's like never gonna try and push her to be the supreme. Like, she wants to live longer. And so, like, I'm sure she was, if not, probably not physically, but definitely verbally abused and put down by Fiona,
Yeah.
to make her the way she is. So, like,
Well, and I also wonder, we find out later in this episode, and it's not, so it's, and I don't want to talk about it too much, but I
yeah.
also wonder if there's always been a little bit of hope for Cordelia that she would eventually become the Supreme,
Yeah.
and that what she found out last week from the doctor kind of was like the final blow in like because there is something physically wrong with her body, which wouldn't
Hmm.
happen if she was the Supreme. And so I think that like that kind of was the final blow that she will never be able to get rid
Yeah.
of her mother. And I think that's kind of why we see the switch in her this episode because she's her whole life just been hanging on to this hope that she will both live up to her mother in the sense of her mother being proud of her and also live up to her the mother in her sense of her mother of being able to overtake her mother. And
Yeah.
now that she finally has confirmation that that is not possible,
Hmm.
she doesn't have any reason to hold back.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, so we're still with Queenie and she stopped breathing. But Fiona, because she is still really strong and
Yeah.
stronger now that Madison's dead, um, Fiona like breathed life back into her.
Yeah.
Um, and Fiona started worrying about the council, and that's kind of all we know. She doesn't talk much more about it there. But then she goes back to her room. She finds Delphine hiding like in the closet, and says, and she tells her that Queenie saved her, and Fiona says not to tell the others. But
Yeah. Well,
she's like,
because
this
the
is
fact that it was Bastian
mhm,
means that there is no truce anymore. And
right.
Fiona's not ready for that shit show.
Yeah. And so she tells her not to tell the others, and then Delphine is clearly terrified.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so we go over to Marie's shop, and she's doing Cora's hair, which Cora's the mom who lost her son at the very beginning.
Yes.
And she's going to some like mayor's dinner or something. So she like apparently never charges her, like, which is true Marie Laveau fashion. She takes
Mhm.
care of the
Yeah.
unwell and whatnot. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in the midst, an unknown box arrives. And she's like, I didn't order those like hair pieces from India. Like, they're not supposed to come for another week. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is. They're like, I don't know. It's just here. There's no notice. There's like, we don't know the people who left it, whatever. And
Well,
she's
and
like,
she
fine.
also she says a really creepy guy left it and didn't say anything. So obviously
Yeah.
Spaulding dropped the fucking box off.
Right, right. And she's like, fine, just open it, no problem. However, when she opens it, she freaks out and some Rico's over there, and it is the Minotaur's head.
Yeah, with
So,
his eyes still moving.
yeah. So if we,
Because whatever
because he's not, he's
Whatever, I was like, because whatever Marie
immortal.
Laveau did to him to make him not be able to die apparently includes having his spinal cord severed.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if we weren't already sure that this truce wasn't at risk, we can be pretty certain now that we've broken.
Yeah.
So we go over to Kyle now, our friend. We haven't seen him yet this episode. And he is still covered in blood. He is banging his head on the toilet seat because he's not well. He's just undead. Um, and Zoe tells him, like, no, Kyle, no. And he starts repeating it back to her. So it seems like he is starting to get some of his voice back and saying words other than
Yeah.
just screaming.
Very Frankenstein monster though.
Yep, yep. So this follows along with a lot of what we talked about last episode.
Yeah.
Um, And then she just starts apologizing to him because she's like, I never should have done this. I can't believe I did this.
Yeah.
And so she's like, oh my God, I bet you're starving. Like, I have to go get you some food. Because, yeah, when you bring someone back from the dead and they can't handle themselves, you have to feed them. Like, they're a child. Like, that is part of it.
Right.
Um, and so she goes to make him tuna fish and finds rat poison. And so there's a lot of stuff going on here, a lot of
She's
inferences
she's
happening,
she's about to mercy kill this poor man.
right? Which probably is for the best, but
Truly.
yeah, that is where we're at. And then she goes to take him his lunch, but Kyle's gone, and so is the body. And when we walk outside, we learn it's Halloween. So no one's gonna notice the
Which
situation.
I'm gonna be honest, I've seen some really impressive Halloween costumes. If I saw somebody dragging that body of his mother around, never in my life would I be like, that's a great costume. I would call the cops.
Sure, yes. I mean, you saw people like hanging ghosts and stuff and, and zombies up, and people were calling the cops, like,
Right.
because they thought they were dead bodies. Um, so like, yeah,
That's my one thing that I don't like about fantastical television shows, like things like Vampire Diaries, this like any kind of show that is set in modern times but with
uh,
fantastical elements, where suddenly everything is totally normal. It's Halloween, all the vampires can come out. It's Halloween,
right,
all the zombies are just walking on the street and nobody notices. Have you ever been trick-or-treating in Suburbia? Because we fucking
for
notice.
sure. Right, right, yeah. And like, it's so funny because like this is the kind of area that's small town enough that everyone knows everyone. And I'm like, we did Halloween at Renee's last year, and like I was the odd person out because like everyone else was like, "Oh, we see your dog every year when we come down this road. This road is blocked out specifically for like this area of people that trick or treat. Like everyone
Yeah.
knows everyone."
Like
And so
like
like,
my students came trick-or-treating to my house because like that's the neighborhood kind of neighborhood that like you live in. Like if
right,
if somebody was dragging a dead body, I'd fucking know.
you'd notice. Right, right. Um, sorry, Rachel, was that thinking about it? Um, so yeah, so theoretically someone should know, but because it's set in Halloween, no one's gonna notice, don't worry. Um, so we go back to Fiona and Delphine, and Fiona loves Halloween because of course she does.
For sure.
And Delphine starts telling her how basically Halloween's evil, and this is where the line fearful breaks ensue comes in, and she's like, people get away with stuff and people do all this terrible stuff because they can get away with it because it's all a prank. It's all a trick in the trick or treat sense and like not a big deal. And we also see that she tells Fiona she's beautiful. We see that she's getting her youth back from healing medicine. So she's becoming a little more like vivacious and
Except that she is really isn't. Like
she's
she doesn't look, I don't think she, I think it was really telling that she is like psychosomatically seeing herself as younger. And like Marie says she, or Delphine says she looks beautiful, but she was like, oh, well, I look younger too. And I don't think she does. I think she thinks she does.
I think she looks less unwell. So I don't think she's like de-aged, but like you can see, and it's, I mean, it's all makeup, but you can see like her eyes are less sunken in than they were, and her skin is a little bit clearer
But
from it
again,
was last episode.
how much of is that psychosomatic though?
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's fair. So it's possible that it all is. But we see it too, even if it's just in her head that we're seeing it from.
Yeah.
Um, and then we go to Marie LeBeau, and she is uh oh, she was fighting with one of the hairdressers who is that she's like ready to break this truce, she's ready to go all in, and the hairdresser's like, I mean, we've had this pact for so long, like I know I wasn't there, but I've heard all the stories growing up, we have this for a reason. And Marie's like, you're with me or against me, and if you're against me, get out of my way. Like, this is what we're doing. Um,
Yeah.
and so then we have a flashback. And we actually see where Marie and Annalise sat down and made peace and made the
Yeah.
truce. Um, and then we come back and she says, even with this, we have to fight back now. Like we can't just stand down.
Yeah.
So we go to Cordelia and she's chatting with Hank. And if this isn't the most obvious not away for work situation.
Oh my
I
God. It
literally like
was
wrote in my notes chatting with Hank who's on a job. And
Um, Dan saw a story online the other day of a woman who like caught her husband going away on a weekend. like business trip and she knew he wasn't going to, so she like followed him and just found him like rented an Airbnb so he could just like play video games and sleep without his family annoying him. And I go, I'm gonna be honest with you, if I ever go away for work, I'm just reading. I just want to
Yeah.
I just want to read and have no one talk to me.
I just want to have my own vacation. Yeah. And the thing is, like, for those of you who don't know the geography of Louisiana, Baton Rouge is hour and a half max away from New Orleans. Like,
Mm.
so that is a dangerous game you're playing, only going an hour and a half away from home, like, to go away. Because, sometimes, like, wives, like, show up to surprise you on a work trip and stuff. And, like,
Yeah,
I mean,
but
Cordelia is busy.
not timid ass awkward Cordelia.
Right. Right. So like she's not the one probably, but like still, like you should have gone farther away.
Correct.
Um, but it gets worse, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so he's clearly sleeping around. I did say rule number one, you should never cheat on a witch. Probably not gonna go well, because even though she is timid, she is still a witch. Like,
Correct.
and
But
her mom is a witch, like
I'm also now, the more this episode carries on, I'm beginning to think he's not human.
hmm. Yeah, that is a fair thing to assume. So,
So,
um, yeah. Da-da-da. Yeah. So, should ask me.
yeah.
I don't know. That was my answer, basically. So she, but he sucks, and so he starts talking. They're talking together, and the girl that he's with starts talking about Halloween and being who you really want to be, and like how much she loves
Wait,
it. And
was this before or after the most uncomfortable sex scene I've ever watched?
after,
Yeah.
after, I just kind of skipped
Yeah.
that
That
part.
that well, that was my
Was
first.
unsettling.
It was unsettling. That was my first sign that there's more going on with Henry than I thought.
Hmm. Hank.
Or Hank. Hank is a
Hmm.
nickname for Henry. I
I
don't.
know.
Um, no, this scene made me more uncomfortable than the weird satanic circle sex scene. That's how weird
Mm.
it was.
Yeah, no, this one definitely was weirder than that for
It was
sure.
weird.
He was just like he was so uncomfortable. Like he was icky. Like I don't know how
Yeah.
she doesn't have the egg. Like just from that.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, she fell in love with him via Thomas Kincaid paintings.
I know, I
So,
know. Yeah, that comes up later too.
oh no.
Bless it. But so she's talking about how like you can be who you really want, and she thinks that's really why people like Halloween so much because you're whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, last year I was a monster, and I was like, every day you're a monster.
Yeah, but that was checkbox number two for this man is not human.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, even if you weren't having like suspicions about him,
Yeah.
like this scene, it's like you're no good. I don't
No.
know what you are.
Yeah,
You're no
no.
good.
You're a terrible person. Bold underline. You are not human. Italic question mark. That's
Right, exactly. Exactly. That's where we are. Um, so we go back to cleaning, and she is not waking up, and she immediately is like, "Am I dead?" And they're like, "No, no, you're not dead. Things suck, but you're not dead." And then Delphine comes in and thanks her profusely.
yeah.
Um, and then Nan comes in and says, "They're here." And they're like, "Oh, good, the girls are back." And she's like, "No, no, not the girls. Kind of, but not in the same
Yeah.
sense." And then the council has arrived. So
I'm obsessed with the council.
I know we have, I don't remember who Pembroke is, like as a human, but
Yeah.
we of course have Leslie Jordan as Vincent, as Quincy. Quince,
Quentin.
Quinton.
Yeah.
See, Quinton is not a name. Hold on. Quinton, and then we have why have I forgotten her name?
Francis.
Frances Conroy
Yeah.
as Myrtle. And so of course we have our two faves. And they come in and Cordelia goes to hug Myrtle and she just says, "How screwed am I?" And she says, "Just keep breathing." Um, and then she starts talking about Queenie's assault, and they're like, "Why didn't you tell us?" And she's like, "Well, I was going to." And she was like, "But like, why didn't you tell us me?" And she's like, "I shouldn't." I'm like, "This is why you can't be a Supreme, because you immediately give in to everything. Like,
Right.
you
Like
don't fight
she
back."
but like Queenie just came to
Yeah.
5 minutes ago. I was going to as soon as I made sure she was alive. Like,
Right. Right.
you didn't,
Um,
she didn't, the Queenie thinks she didn't do anything wrong. Some of the other
right.
shit she's hid from the council, she probably should be in trouble for, but
It's,
her guilt over Queenie when she was actually not wrong
yeah,
was
a hundred
annoying.
percent. Um, but then she also starts like admitting to go see Marie Laveau, and she's like, I know I should have done this either. And like, I'm worried about fertility. I'm like, you are just throwing stuff into the water.
Oh my
Like, there
God,
is no need
yes.
for this. And that's the first rule of interrogation is you let them ask you questions. Like, you don't just say stuff. Um, and of course Fiona walks in and basically says that. She's like, stop talking. We don't need to deal with this. And then she greets Quentin and they're like besties because it's her magic that made him this like worldwide bestseller. And so they're friends. But she doesn't like Pipbrook. I don't know what their history is, but she is not a fan.
Yeah, and her and Myrtle clearly are,
Well, yes, yes. And we do learn more about their history.
yeah.
But she always acknowledges Myrtle. She like barely acknowledges Pipbrook. She's just
That's
like
true. She
Brooke.
does. She's really snarky and nasty to Myrtle, but yeah,
Right.
Pembroke, she's just like, and you.
Yeah, she's like, I don't have any time for you. So she's talking and they're talking about what's going on, and she's like, I don't know why you're here, like what's going on? And they're like, we were summoned, and they were like, what do you mean? And then Nan walks in and she's like, I called them. I was like, Jesus Christ, these people are like all over the place. Of
Which
course they're gonna get
and
shut
Nana's
down.
like, I called them because I can't hear Madison anymore.
Yeah,
I think she's dead.
right. But then like, is your first step not to go to like she at this point doesn't seem like she like questions Fiona or Cordelia. So would you not start with the first layers of the people that would have seen her? Like
I
so
mean,
far she's what only told Queenie. Like there's
right.
other channels.
But like I'm just so curious. These are like witches and they have magic and they have like a witches council, but they don't seem to have like any ability to use said magic to not just have like a normal trial. Like they still just take
Right.
people's word as their only trial. And I'm like, what's the point of having magic if you're not going to be able to like tell if
Well, that's
people
the
are
thing is unless you're the Supreme, you only have one element of magic. So like Zoe can only kill people when she sleeps with them. She
But
doesn't
like,
have other magic.
shouldn't some kind of requirement for being on the council be the type of magic you have so that the council actually is able to like prosecute shit?
That is fair. See, that is valid. And
Yeah.
we do learn in a bit that Myrtle has some of that. Um,
But Myrtle can tell if someone's lying or not. She can't force someone to tell the truth unless she does some kind of like crazy spout. Like,
well, I think she can. She just doesn't know how to do it accurately, which we'll get to towards the end. I think that is part of it. She's just not very good at it.
okay.
But like you said, they're interviewing everyone now.
Yeah.
So we also have a brief cut scene where Spalding is hugging a scarecrow before he comes back inside, which I was
Yeah.
like,
They
what?
show him like decorating. He puts that head on the scarecrow and then he stands like a scarecrow and dances and then he hugs it. And I was like, what
Yeah,
the fuck is happening?
it was so funny. It did not matter.
It
They
did
did
not
not put that in
matter.
there, but I
It
did
was
like it.
just to show us that Spalding is an important character for this episode, so we needed to give him
Yeah,
more screen time. It was unnecessary.
exactly. 100%. Um, but as they're getting ready to go, Myrtle says, go into their questioning. Myrtle says that that they haven't had death by fire in a long time, but this is something like she's ready to like,
She's like, I have matches in my pocket and I can't wait to fucking burn you. And I was like,
yeah,
"Mm, okay."
right. So they're interviewing everyone, and Queen does not mince her words. She's like, she's terrible, she's awful, she's drunk somewhere. If she's dead, she did to herself. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's like, you are wrong, but also, like, that's not an invalid
Right.
thought.
That is an accurate interpretation of what is of a very possible scenario that did not
Right.
happen.
100%. Bless her heart. Um, and then in Cordelia's interview, um, she's talking and they're like, how did you not know? And she's like, I saw her yesterday afternoon. And they're like, yeah, but if you haven't seen her since, you aren't keeping up with your like witches. And she's like, I don't think you understand Madison Montgomery. She's like, we have kept up with her better than anyone in her entire life has. But she is a wild cracker. Like she's not one to be like tamed. And so like we have done the best that we could with her. And then she notices her rug is missing. And then we go back to Hank.
But it was also, she was like, I don't understand. Madison's just crazy. Where's my rug?
Yeah, yeah. Little jarring.
But it also doesn't make it
But
seem like you, but it's also, it's not really a good look for you because you're like, I do know what's going on in my house. Oh, I don't even know where my furniture
yeah,
is.
exactly. Exactly. But we go back to Hank, and this woman is making soup for him that she's got out of a vending machine, along with a burrito. And she starts asking him, she's like, do you have a girlfriend in every port? Because she's like, I know you're sleeping around or whatever. And then she's like, I'm just joking. I know you're not like that. We met in a Thomas Kincaid painting group. And I was like, this is the wildest way to meet a woman.
Also,
Like,
who fucking finds a boyfriend on a Thomas Kincaid Facebook group?
80-year-old woman. Like, that was my Mimi's favorite painter. She loved his puzzles, but she
I
was,
I like the Disney Thomas Kincaids.
yeah, same.
Not enough to date someone who
No.
talks about them on Facebook.
If you talk about them on Facebook, I'm probably not gonna date you. Like that's not my vibe. I mean, even though I like you said, I love a Thomas Kincaid design, and I like a Thomas Kincaid puzzle. Don't get me wrong. I like him fine. I'm not in the fandom, which there apparently is. Um, and then he shoots her. So we know that he was
Yeah,
indeed a monster.
that was of all of the things that I thought he was gonna do, that was
Mm,
not it.
mm,
Like I thought
yeah,
he was going to like it was just gonna be another woman. I thought maybe he was gonna like actually turn into like a vampire or some kind of real monster and like kill her in like a supernatural kind of way and prove that he was a monster. I thought that it was gonna be something where she was some kind of like other creature and he was like using her to get close to something else. Whipping out a gun, zero was not on my bingo card.
yeah. It's another time where American Horror Story is like, oh yeah, the real horror is people.
Yeah,
Like this is, I mean, regardless of whether he has any supernatural elements, this is also something a regular guy would do.
true.
Um, I mean, a regular bat guy, not like a regular
Yeah.
everyday guy. But yeah. And then we go for Fiona's interview. And Myrtle is upset because there's these are all words that I wrote down that are not readable. Um Oh, because she's not there. She was supposed to like hire a new like chancellor, and she never did. And then she was like supposed to be overseeing this, and she just keeps like running off and like traversing the world, and like
Yeah.
she's not she's not essentially doing her job as a supreme. She's rather just like living it up. And Myrtle obviously already doesn't like her. And then she says, "This is the second time a witch has gone missing under your watch, and you were the last one to talk to them." So then we go back to 1971. Um, and we see Fiona being interviewed again, and she's crying, saying that Anna Lee is still alive somewhere. She's like, she has to be, that she can't be dead. And like, what an actor. My God, what an actor. Um, but then she's like, I don't know what happened, but the last time I saw her, she was going somewhere and she took a bottle of fine wine with her. And she said it was, quote, as a final peace offering. And of course, everyone knows she's been creating this truce with Marie Laveau. Um,
So
and
like
so the council's immediately like,
but like that just shows that Fiona's been trying to come after Marie for how long? For what reason though? Like we
yeah,
don't know why.
because Marie's so powerful. And Fiona feels threatened and jealous and whatnot. And Marie is immortal and Fiona is not. And we already know she has this big issue with immortality because
Yeah,
she is going to die eventually. But
right.
Marie's not. And she wants to figure out how to be more like her in that sense. Um, So they also then move on to announce Fiona as the new Supreme. They're like, you have to go through the test of the seven wonders, and that's
Yeah.
how you figure out if you pass. And so this is showing you have more than your one, maybe two, like powers. And so also if she does pass, she will be the youngest Supreme in history because doesn't seem they make a habit of killing the Supreme that they're about to become.
Right.
Um, but the whole time Myrtle is also in her coven, and the whole time Myrtle knows she's lying.
Yeah.
And she starts calling on this truth magic essentially to figure out what it is. And she created this magic that you can put on someone to make their tongue speak the truth. And so
Yeah.
she's so Spalding is required to answer. She put it on him because she's like, they have some weird connection. He's always cleaning up her messes. If anyone knows, it's Spalding. And so she enchanted his tongue, and then so of course we
Yeah.
assume that Fiona's cast time. And we come back to the present. And this is where Myrtle talks about wanting to burn her at the stake. So then she calls Spalding and she asks him to write the name of the witch who's responsible for severing his tongue. And so this is where I think she can compel the truth, and that is part of her power. She just doesn't know what truth she's looking for because she truly believes that Fiona cut out his tongue. However, that's not true because he did it, as we see in the next scene, himself.
Right.
And so he wrote down his name, so it's like he's still telling the truth.
No, he
It's just
didn't.
not the one.
He wrote down her name. He wrote Myrtle's name.
Oh, well, because
Because he did
because
it,
she's the one who put the enchantment on him.
which is why he chose to cut his own
Right.
tongue out. Yeah.
So like he told the truth. It just wasn't the one Myrtle expected. She doesn't know how to, and because the way she said it, she says, write the name of the witch who's responsible. And so not who did it even.
Yeah.
Because she was the
She
one
didn't say write down the name of the person who
Yeah.
cut your tongue.
Right.
Because then
And
he
so
would
I
have,
think
and
she
even then
just-
he would have written his own name.
Yeah, exactly. And so like I think that that's the problem with her magic. But so we get the flashback, and we see where he's set up with his knife and everything, and he had sent Fiona a note to come join him, and his last words were, "I've always loved you," and that's the last thing that he said out loud. And then we're back at today, and Myrtle's having a breakdown because she has not got Fiona's name, obviously.
Yeah.
But then Cordelia stands up for Fiona, and this is like the first like thing she's done to stand up for anyone, and says she knows Fiona didn't do it. Like she has no doubt in her mind. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, she for sure did. But I guess this is the time you now choose to make a stand. That's fine. So we go to the ninth ward, and the other hairdresser, I don't know that we know her name, but I sure didn't know her name right. So
Yeah.
but the other hairdresser is sending her kids to go trick or treat. And Marie is putting together another ritual. And she raises someone from the dead. So we already have an inkling of what's gonna happen here from what we saw in the movie.
Right.
So we're back over at Robichaux, and Delphine is giving out candy because she's of course the one handing out candy on Halloween. And um they're talking, and like no one thinks that yeah. So no one really thinks Madison's dead. Like Queenie and Zoe are like, we're just gonna hang out here. Zoe's like, we should go find her, and Nan's like, there's literally not a doubt in my mind. This girl is dead. Like I would hear her. There is no other option.
Right.
And we go back to Spalding, and he is dressed up as a baby doll for Halloween. And he
For
grabs
Halloween? For Halloween?
For Halloween. It may be for regular life, but it is Halloween, so today it's for Halloween. And he grabs another dress. And you wonder, who is he gonna dress up now?
Oh, I didn't wonder. I didn't wonder.
But you wonder as a watcher, in case there's any question. He of course still has Madison's body, who is dead. It is a dead body. And he dresses her up in this. Well, we assume we haven't actually seen the fully dressed version. We just see the dead in the chair version. So.
But that also makes me think, like, did he keep Annalee's body too?
That is a great question. That is a great question.
What a fucking creepo.
Yes.
Also, like, what does it say about Fiona that this is the kind of guy who's in love with her?
I mean, we already know she's a little cuckoo bananas, so you
Yeah.
know, she doesn't care. She doesn't care
I
what he
mean,
does
she
as long
doesn't
as
love
he.
him.
Right, right. So like she doesn't care if he's gonna do her bidding forever. Sure, she'll keep him around no matter how weird he is. He's not affecting her life. Um, and then we're at the bar, and Fiona and Cordelia have gone out for drinks. And Cordelia's like, "Let's play a game," which is like so in your face. I'm like, Sarah Paulson, I don't know what you're doing in this scene, but you're you're not acting great. Um, And she's like, I want to ask you three questions that you for sure give me answers to. And she's like, fine, go ahead. You started this. And she starts with, why do you hate Hank? And I was like, that's not one of my first questions. I got
I
other
mean,
questions I
that's
ask.
a
If I only
warm-up
get three,
question. That's a
but
warm-up
if I only
question.
get three, I got a lot more questions for Fiona that don't involve why she doesn't like this man.
Yeah,
Because it
but
doesn't matter.
Cordelia's a
Um,
fucking simp.
I know. Basically, she's just like, he reeks of bullshit. I'm still shocked you can't figure that out. Like, and I was like, 100%, 100% Fiona. Um, and then she says, did you kill Madison? And of course she lies and says no. But like, who's gonna say? Like, how is Cordelia gonna know she's lying? She's not.
Right.
And then Fiona asked her, who do you think is the next spring? And she's like, oh my gosh, you're so obsessed with this. Yeah, if someone's gonna cause you to die, like you probably are gonna get a little obsessive about it.
Yeah.
I mean, she would kill them, so maybe it's not good for her to know, but like in general, you're of course gonna be curious. Um, and then we go to Cordelia, who is just vomiting in the bathroom because she's had one too many. And then she goes to wash her hands, and someone in all black comes out and throws acid in her eyes. And then we're back in room show. And um the neighbor, I don't remember his name in the show,
Luke.
but
His name's
Luke, okay.
Luke.
So Luke comes over and Delphine's just like, you can't have anything. She's like, and he's like, I'm not here for that. I'm here to see Nan. And he brings Nan cookies as a repayment for her cake that she bought. Um, and then the next
I'm
time,
obsessed. I'm obsessed with
I
like
know,
how it's ugh.
I love this so much. And
Yeah.
then the next knock on the door, Delphine opens, and it's three women zombies who are
Her
her
daughters.
daughters. And then she panics, obviously, and closes the door. And we get a pan out, and there's just like a slew of zombies surrounding this house. And that is where we end this episode. So, what do you think?
Everybody sucks.
Yo.
I don't even know what to think. I do think I do think that poor Luke is going to get dragged into some shit that he does not need to be a part of
Sure.
because he's now currently trapped in the house with all of this crazy
Mm-hmm.
shit happening on the outside of it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I I I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Um,
yeah, I don't know.
that's
Spalding.
fair.
Spalding is gross. Fiona's an
Mhm.
asshole. Hank is probably not human. I who the fuck knows where Kyle and his mom are? Like everything sucks right now.
It's just bonkers. It's just bonkers. Um, yeah. I have a bit of trivia for you. I did forget to look up the trivia before
Okay.
now. Um, the tray that Spalding uses to clean crumbs from the dinner table is
Mm.
coincidentally called a silent butler.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't know that. I think that's a spoiler for next episode, so I'm not gonna say it because I don't remember that happening in this one. Um, Frances Conroy's character appears to be a tribute to US Vogue's creative director Grace Coddington, who is known for her full red hair, because she makes all the references to her appearances that relate to like fashion and just having a cat and stuff, like, which is all very Grace Coddington.
Right.
Apparently, I do not know this woman, but this is what the internet says. Um, duh, 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 duh. So the only male member of the council, Quentin, um, and he's based on Quentin Crisp. The spread collar shirt, silk scarf, and fedora were all staple with Crisp's wardrobe. Um, and the character itself also has comparisons to Truman Capote. Uh,
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. That is so Truman Capote.
yeah. We already talked about that. Oh, your fun fact about Riley Vocal, who plays Freya, is here.
Yeah,
That
love
she
it.
returns to New Orleans to play Freya. And then Lily Robb is credited but does not actually appear in this episode.
Oh,
Uh, yes. So those are my fun facts for you. Um, Try to see if I have anything for you for next week. Yeah, I mean, we pick up where we left off essentially. We're gonna keep going with the story. So
nice.
nothing new. So on that note, who do you want to punch in the face?
Spalding. He is creepy and I hate it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Well, I'm gonna punch Hank because he's not only a terrible person but also a killer.
Yeah, that's fair. He
Murderer.
sucks. I probably
Yeah.
should have picked him.
I mean, everyone sucks, so it's like, can't really go wrong.
Right.
So who's your MVP?
Myrtle. She's trying so hard.
Oh, that's funny. I hate
She's the
Myrtle.
only one. No, but she's the only one who like I mean, I know she's unhinged a little bit, but
Sure.
she knows the truth and no one will fucking listen to her and she's trying so hard and I feel bad.
That's fair. That's totally
But
fair.
also everybody sucks on this show, so like it's really hard to pick an MVP.
Yeah. Well, because she picked Myrtle, who would not have been my first choice. I'm gonna pick Nan.
That's fair.
Because she is, other than Myrtle, she's like, Madison's dead and no one's doing anything about it. And then she becomes besties with neighbor Luke, and it's so sweet. So
Yeah.
I like Nan. Um, yeah, so that is our episode, and we will, like I said, get back to it next week. In the meantime, if you'd like to talk to us, you can email us, deathandaliens@gmail.com. You can find us on all of the social media at Death and Aliens. You can find me at CECloud13.
And you can find me everywhere at EMKAY_superstar.
And we'll see you on Sunday for our next episode of Stargate Atlantis. Bye!
Bye.